Hey everyone, this is a video on the Radiolink RC6GS and RC4GS antenna delete that I have on MakerWorld. I deleted the top antenna on mine and put it inside because I dropped it a few times, broke it off, and there's absolutely no reason for it to be this long. And actually, it's really only half the length of this tube, if that. So there's really no need for it. I have an MT12 if I want to do any long range type stuff, so I don't care if this loses any range. I've already done it on my older one. I just bought a new one on Amazon Prime Week. They're on sale for like $50. So I grabbed another one. Instead of having all my trucks on one, it was just kind of getting annoying. The page has a picture step-by-step tutorial on it, but a video, I think, is going to be a lot easier for people to figure out, because reading it and then doing it is just a little harder. You're going to start out with taking your cover off, taking your battery tray out, unless you have a battery. I've been running like these bigger 3800s. After that, you got to take the power switch out and the VR knob. They just pop right off. Then you're going to have 7 screws right here that you need to undo. It's just a regular Phillips, but well, it's a smaller Phillips. It's like a 1.5 or so. It's just your regular pull size 2 is not going to fit. Just barely fits inside because it's such a skinny hole there. And what I like to do is separate this and then try not to take that front decal off. Once you take it off, it'll never be flat again. So I really try hard to just work on it separated like this if I can. It's just easier. You kind of can set it like that or so. This one I did take it all apart earlier just to take the screws out, and it's already come unstuck. And I was able to stick it down, but you can see already it doesn't want to stay. So I'm just going to take it off for the video because it's already messed up. There's 2 different versions of the antenna delete. One is just a flat cap with no LED in it, and one has a 3mm hole for a 3mm LED that you can put in. So, and I have it so it turns on with the switch. Either one will work, depending on if you don't want to do the soldering or not. This one's going to have a LED in it. I have the LED to try to help me see it when I put it down, because I'll forget about it. And next thing I know, it's on for 10, 20 minutes or hours, and then the battery dies after a while. And, you know, they usually come back, but you never know. This would usually be up in the antenna right here, but I already took it out. It can be a pain. You need something with some teeth on it, and I couldn't find anything. I don't know where my pliers are. I'm sure the kids took it. But you got to grab it and pull straight down like this. The wire rides in this little groove here, so just be careful of that. Put that to the side. You're not going to need it anymore. The antenna is plugged in down in there, so either way, if you're going to have the flat cap or the LED, you need to pull this section out just enough if you're just going to do the flat cap. And then you have to take I guess you don't have to because I can't find it, but usually I try to use like a spludger, like a little plastic flat piece, to try to pry this up, because if not, you can break off the little metal cylinder that holds it. It's really small, so you really want to be careful with it. That little metal ring can come off sometimes. It's done it to me on one of them before. And if you do that, you're kind of screwed, because that's the ground wire and everything. Once you get that off, you can push in these little tabs, little pins with your fingers sometimes. A lot of times you need to use some pliers and push it up at the same time. And this whole antenna can pop out. Then I just take this cap off, and you're not going to use that anymore. I take this and I glue it right in here. There's like there's 2 little pins there usually. I already snapped them off, but I just take this and I glue it into here with some hot glue. You could just stick it in there too. I just don't like it flopping around making noise. Once that's dry enough, you can let go. It's probably not completely dry, but you'll be good. If you had just the flat antenna delete with no LED, you're just going to take this, push it right on there, and then it's just a press fit. It's just the dirt and stuff doesn't go inside. I'm going to have the LED, so and it's kind of stuck on there right now. That took a minute, but it's a pretty good press fit. That's why it was hard to get off. I just ended up putting a screwdriver up through and popping it back out. If all you're going to do, like I said, is the antenna delete and no LED, just pop that on there. You're going to take this and the antenna. You got to line up that little, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a little clamp in the center, and it clamps on the center pin. You want to line it up as straight as possible and then push down. I'm not going to do it because I want to do the LED. And then you literally just push this back in, tuck this wire down in underneath here. So it just kind of sits like that. And then pop the other half back on, put the 7 screws in, you're good to go. Don't forget this piece that always falls out is on the other side. It almost always falls out on any of these. This goes in like that. It's just a 1/4-20 so you can mount a phone. If you're going to continue and do the LED addition, we're going to be soldering to this ground pin here. There. And then we're going to do it looks like the 4th pin on this switch over. I'll show you when I take this out, but it's actually the 3rd pin. The outside pins are just to hold down this case, but it's going to be the 4th pin on the inside. To get to that, you got to take out this, but you have to go around the throttle spring. So I kind of pull out and then I twist down, and then it's out. And then you got to start taking off all these plugs. The bottom power plug, power wire, goes to this one. The bottom switch goes to this outside one here. The yellow, black, and red plug is actually going out into the steering area, and that's going to go into the center by the buzzer. Sometimes the whole thing comes off. The second switch up is next to the bigger cable, and then you got the big cable you can't really mess up. Just be careful taking it off so you don't bend any pins. You are going to need a small Phillips, even smaller than the one that you took the controller apart with. And there's just 4 screws here. And they're little guys, so just be careful. These buttons are probably going to fall out on you. They do it almost every time. They literally just sit on top of the buttons. Then you're going to want to hinge it over because there's 2 little wires that's powering up the backlight display, and then there's a ribbon cable right there. I like to add a little bit of flux. Like I said, we're going to go into what looks like the 4th pin over. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually the 3rd of the power. This one's the resting pin when it's off. This is the main power coming in from the switch, coming in from the battery, and then this is when it's on. It gets powered. I'll just notice that these 2 are actually almost touching. So I guess I'll separate those while I'm here. I've never seen that before. So I like to add a little bit of flux to these just to help it flow. And usually I can just solder these on without even adding any solder. So I'm sure we'll be able to do that too. It's usually enough. And I like to kind of aim the wires if I can on this side of that hole to go this way, because you're going to want to tuck it in underneath the display of this post. Good to go on that one. like I said, the 4th pin over on here. And that's all you need to do for it. You can test it if you want before plugging it all in by giving it power. I don't know if this one will connect. Not well, but you can. No, apparently I grabbed a pink one. I thought I grabbed a red one. It's just not connecting well because it's a JST going into a little pH 2.0 or whatever they are. They're not gonna fit well. Like I said, you want to keep these wires on this side. Flop this back over. Don't forget the buttons. Make sure these are going behind it. It just makes it easier to wire it when it's inside of the case. Set that down flat. And I just make sure I didn't pinch anything. Once that's done, you want to start plugging in everything. Like I said, big cable, you can't miss. The cable that's coming out, it's actually the throttle cable. That's this one, for me, it came out with the actual holder. So I gotta try to line that back up. And the black wire it's actually labeled on here. It's ground. The black wire goes to the center. Goes there. This one goes there. Oh, yep. And the power wire goes out here. So just to go over it with you, power wire here. Middle, lower switch. It's got a 3rd wire because it actually has a light on it, and it goes to this one on the right side of the switch. The throttle, black, red, and yellow, goes underneath the buzzer. The top circle switch goes next to the big cable, and you got the big cable. And then again, with this, you really want to be careful. Line it up as straight as you can. You kind of feel it like go into a spot where you can't move around, then push straight down. You'll feel a little click. And then just kind of twist it this way. To get this all back in here, aim the ribbon cable over. Make sure it's kind of flat, like that. Twist it over. Then you want to, as you're twisting it, line up the clear section, and then it should slide right in. You just need to make sure you don't pinch any wires when you go back, because there is a plastic section where this board falls into, and sometimes the ribbon cables and wires can get into it. Then you just gotta tuck the antenna cable down and under. Then with the LED, I usually push it up through, push it in, and it's a pressure fit, but I usually add just a dab of hot glue just so it won't fall out on me, just to be safe. Not much, just a small dab there. Then you push this down, tuck the wires in. If you wanted to, you could again test it while you're here. There's actually a little groove for the power wire to go up. On. And we got a pink LED right there. And everything will work again. I mean, if you wanted to, you could check everything. Everything works though. Turn it off, unplug. Mine's going to be easy because it separated the sticker. But you just want to line up the clear sections with the top here. And once you do that, everything else pretty much lines right up. Like I said, make sure nothing gets pinched. I almost forgot the top piece, like I told you guys not to. There we go. Line up those like I was saying. And all this should just go together. And like I said, my sticker is not going to be great anymore. I'll have to glue it down later, but I'll do that eventually. Pop in the power switch. The VR knob, there's a flat section you'll see. Little nubs that go on the flat on there. You can't get it wrong. I drop all the screws in. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Usually do the center. Make sure that goes in. The bottoms are the easiest to line up. And go to the back to the front. Doesn't really matter what direction you do it, but yeah, those are all. And you shouldn't see any bigger gaps or anything. It should be all the same as it was. I'll close up. If they're not, then you got a wire pinched or something somewhere. So just be careful on that. You know, just open it back up and double check. You're pretty much back together. This will be getting a big battery also. Plugged into the bottom with the JST plug. And then you got the cover. I'll be making a filler for this. Like I have one for the smaller plugs, for the smaller batteries on Maker World. These are like the regular Radiolink size batteries, 1700 mAh. I think that one's a little puffy actually. Got that plugged in. Now, of course, the rattle's the big one. Turn it on. You got an LED. Let's peel this off. It's gonna come off anyways. That's nice. And you got a antenna deleted RC6GS or RC4GS. The LED should be pretty much flush with the top. It sticks out a little bit sometimes. It depends on the LED you buy. I buy 12-volt LEDs for all my RC stuff, especially when these are, you know, running off of, what was it, 8 whatever volt. I don't know what, because these are just, yeah, regular, 7.4. Yeah, just a regular 2S. But charged, obviously, you're getting higher than that. But you want to do 12 volt at least, because if not, you're going to blow the LEDs. I don't know what it actually goes through on the board, if it steps it down or not, but you don't want to blow anything. This helps, but I will say that I still forget it a lot. But at least it's a little bit of a thing to try to help. But, you know, I say 50% of the time I'll see the LED and turn it off, but the other 50% I'll forget about it and leave it on and the battery dies. So, but yeah, that's a pretty easy one. If you're not good with soldering, I'd probably test with some other stuff first, because if you mess that board up at all, you're buying a new Radiolink. I don't think they sell the board separately. I haven't seen it, but I also haven't looked. So I'd just be careful on that. So I would definitely test on something else first if you're not familiar with soldering, or have a buddy do it or something. I think that's about it for this one. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Maker World link will be down below for that. I also have a file to do one-handed thumb. I also have a file that kind of goes around the antenna, like as a blocker. If you wanted to keep the antenna, kind of helps it if it gets hit, it hits that instead. And like I said, I do have this file to fill in if you have the smaller battery. Soon I'll have the bigger battery file. I just keep forgetting about it. I think that should be it. So like I said, if you have any questions, put them down below. Maker World also, you can comment there, and I'll get back to you. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.